I typically get up at that point of time, pick out my diary and write it down, things to do. So then I'm at peace of mind. Next morning I know exactly what I'm supposed to do to finish it.
And from which book did you get that?
I just
Sorry?
I've just been doing it for years now. My things to do list is my one discipline I always follow.
Okay. So you
have
have
a lot of peace of mind. Once I've written it down, it automatically just gets done.
Okay. So can we just do a small experiment here? Can you let us know? Can you just jot down 5 things which are on your mind just now? And we don't want your multi-billion-dollar ideas. So if you get those, then you don't need to mention those. But any other 5 things. Okay. So you have some unfinished task in your mind. What exactly do you jot down about that? If you could just put that here. Just as an example, you said if you go to sleep and you have this inner nag, you put it down on paper. So just imagine or just give us an example of that. For 5 things. I need to write. Yes.
Sorry.
Use a red pen. This blue is not visible.
This is the darkest. It'll be darker than black. Then red. Okay, the first one is Meet Sudhir. The second one is Write Global Strategy Doc. We don't have any graphologists here, so you can write in peace. Actually, we do. Where's Rama? Yeah. Okay, let's just take one more.
जगह है ना अंदर जगह है
साइज क्या भेज दो. Okay, thank you. Please give her a big hand. Okay, so there's a book called Getting Things Done by David Allen. How many of you read that? Getting Things Done, or GTD, by David Allen. He suggested a more scientific way to do this. David Allen is probably the biggest productivity guru in the US right now. I have data about a client visit of his, which is about 3 to 4 years old. Okay, he visited a client for one entire day. He would sit with the client would make phone calls and send emails, and he would organize his stuff around his house, and David would observe. He would sometimes give his own suggestions, and sometimes he would wait for a question from his client. The client would say, I don't know what to do about this. I have too many emails in my inbox. What do I do? Okay, for one entire day, probably 12 to 13 hours. Guess how much David Allen charged him for that in dollars for one day? Just shout out a guess.
100,000.
100,000? No, he's not that expensive. Yeah. Or lakhs. Take a guess in lakhs. How many lakh rupees? I shouldn't have said lakhs. That tells you it's more than lakh. It's 12 lakhs. $20,000. So now you know the value of December. Okay, he suggests that you dump all this on a piece of paper. Okay, that itself just appears to be so counterintuitive because plenty of people don't understand how the brain works, and as I said, don't understand about the limitations because they think about all these motivational guys talking about, oh, your potential is unlimited and you can do everything. No, you can't. You can't even hold basic bits of memory in your brain unless you have a strategy for that. So the best thing to do is, first of all, take a dump, a mental dump. It helps to have a pen and paper with you 24/7. You probably have on your pillow, right? That's fantastic. So she's up the curve. You've got to have a pen and paper with you 24/7. how many people, what percentage of people in your life have you seen carrying a pen and paper to meetings? Just shout out a guess. Sorry? How many people, what percentage of people out of all the people you've been with in business meetings have carried a pen and paper with them? What percentage? Less than 5%, 1 or 2%? That's these are the right figures. Which just shows you how poor brain literacy is on this planet. They're supposed to do it every time.
Because they carry laptops.
Yeah, if they carry laptops and putting the stuff there, that's fine. So that's probably another 1 or 2%. I doubt it'll be more than that. So by and large, most of the people don't understand this, or they go to these seminars, just tell them to do this, and they say, oh, this is ridiculous. I'm the chief executive of a company. I can keep a few facts and figures in my head. And it looks so sissy, jotting it down every time. It looks like I don't have the mental strength to memorize what's going on. So these are all the things playing on their minds. But these guys are people you probably need to be aware of, because in the next retrenchment, these are the guys who are going to go because they don't understand how to get the maximum out of themselves. So what David Allen is suggesting is, first of all, put it here.
There are some people, like I know my husband, he would, in case, he would jot out everything, during his office hours or even otherwise, on a diary, on a small notepad, and he, even if he would have had a fight, or if he would have said something to an electrician or to any extra, XYZ person, he notes it down. So it's a very typical habit of some few people who want to do that. They want to jot down everything that they do.
Which books does he read?
He doesn't read any books.
Okay, fantastic. So there's some people who have understood this intuitively. But I'm going to go a step further. So the first step is to write it down. And there are two reasons for that. One is people have bad memories. The human brain is not made for memorizing stuff. You have to make an effort to memorize stuff. So if that's all you have to do, that's fine. But if you have other more important things to do, then don't go around memorizing stuff for no reason. So it reduces the stress on your memory. Number two is it visually is taking your problem away from you. So you feel much more comfortable because you feel your problems are at a distance now. Okay, how many NLP practitioners here?
Sorry?
NLP practitioners, so you know about submodalities. In plenty of cases, just seeing your problem as physically away from you itself reduces your stress levels drastically. Okay, so you can do this. You can do this after the seminar sometime. You can think of all the things that are playing on your mind and just put it here. Before putting it there, just think of your stress levels on a scale of 1 to 10, and think of your stress levels the minute it's off. And there's a good chance that you will see a drastic reduction. So that's a great stress beater. It clarifies your mind. So that's the number one thing to do. The number two thing you got to do is you got to categorize these into 4 Ds. Okay. The first D is do. If something takes less than 2 minutes, just do it right now. Because it's scratching it off the list, it's giving you momentum. You feel, oh yes, I'm moving ahead. Just close that. Do it right there and then. You got to call somebody and you know he's going to be free. Just call him there and then and close that task out. So do, defer. Defer is postpone. Realize that you can't do everything right now. Don't think about what motivation speakers tell you. You can't do everything. You cannot do everything right now. It's cannot in capitals. So you have to defer. Now, how exactly to defer we'll come back to. The third one is drop. Again, completely anti-motivational. You can do everything. Life is great. You should get everything in your life. Why should you miss out? All that crap. Drop. Just realize that there are only 24 hours in a day. It just doesn't make sense. Many people, if you ask them what their priorities are for a day, if you ask a normal person, what do you want to accomplish on Monday? Make a to-do list. his list will be so big that he won't even be able to complete it in the entire week. Okay, this has been backed by research. So you can literally do this with your friends and see. Everybody thinks he's Superman. Okay, so I don't know what that psychological phenomenon is called, but I like to call it the Superman complex. Every human being thinks that he's superior to other human beings. Every human being thinks he's much smarter than most other people, and much smarter than he thinks he is. Okay, so I just like to call that a Superman complex. So he thinks, oh, I can accomplish all this, I can accomplish these 20 things on Monday, whereas accomplishing even two or three of those things would be a major accomplishment. So drop, extremely critical. Just focus on what is really important. And there's another strategy which may help you to focus on what's really important, which we'll come to. Yeah.
This is for the day, right?
No, any time or as a practice, just do a mental dump. Dump everything that's on your mind. And then you have to put it in these 4 buckets. Do, defer. Now I'll come back to defer at the end because there's more elaboration needed on that. So then that may answer your question. So just hang on till I reach defer. But drop, and you really have to drop lots of activities. You have to drop lots of so-called passions. You have to drop lots of so-called friends. If you don't do that, if you don't keep on eliminating useless stuff in your life, you are going to be miserable. Okay, there's a theory called via negativa. Via negativa. It's getting happiness through elimination. So Michelangelo was asked, how did you carve David? And David is probably Michelangelo's best creations, the statue of David. And he said, it's very simple. I just removed what was not David. Now actually it's a very practical concept. You have to just keep on eliminating what's useless. And Bruce Lee said it very well in one statement. He said, life is not an increase, but a decrease. Every day, hack away at the inessential. Okay, so that's drop. The 4th one is, can you guess it? Delegate, absolutely. Now each of these has lots of challenges. It just appears to be very easy when I'm saying it, but people don't like to delegate because it makes them look dumb. They think I should do everything because then that makes me look like Superman. Plenty of bosses don't want to delegate because they think that, oh, this guy will learn this job and then he will have me fired because he will be indispensable then. Yeah? Or why should I delegate? Because it will take me 1 hour to train this guy how to do it, because I can do it in 5 minutes. You can do it in 5 minutes now. We'll keep on doing it every time and you will ultimately waste more than 1 hour on it.
So in fact, there is a book by the name Take Back Your Life by Sally McGee, which is specifically talking about Outlook, because most people are, otherwise work on Outlook and all that. And how do you take this forward on a practical, real-time basis?
Okay, so there are lots of books on this. There is a book called Essentialism. There are lots of books on minimalism, but I would suggest you start off with Getting Things Done by David Allen, because that's very, very practical. So do, drop, defer, delegate. Now let's come back to defer. So in this example, now maybe you have details of this in your mind. So maybe this is correct, or maybe it's not. So for example, this one, what David recommends is, this is still incomplete. It's still leaving a loop in your mind that you got to fill up. Meet Sudhir means what? If the appointment is already fixed, then it should be meet Sudhir at so and so, what a date, time, place. Or if the appointment is not fixed, then you're going to call him at so and so time. Okay, so you're going to have the NAS very clearly specified, otherwise it's not going to work. NAS is next action step. So it can't be something vague like meet this guy. No. That would again pop up a question in your subconscious mind as to what do I have to do to meet him? Do I have to call him? Do I have to WhatsApp him? What do I have to do? So again, that's going to play on your mind. And again, that's going to increase your stress, it's going to increase your memory, it's going to worsen your memory and all that. Right global strategy doc. Okay, now, again, depends how big this doc is. If it's very big, then you need to decide, okay, what about that are you going to write? Exactly. That micro topic you're going to write on that, and when you're going to do it. Now, there are two softwares which are available right now. I know about them thanks to my software guru, Rishi, which have made life so simple that it's amazing. It's just amazing. Plenty of people are not using these tools the right way. So one of them is Evernote. How many of you have Evernote? Okay, so that's still less. It's still less than 50% of the room. Now Evernote is like Word, which syncs between all your devices, and you can literally speak into it, and it transcribes what you say. So anytime you have an idea and you don't have a pen and paper, that's it. You just put it in, or you just say it out, and it transcribes what you say, and it syncs on the devices. So you open your laptop and your to-do list is ready. That's how amazing it is. Sorry, let me just give you the second one. And the second one is, can you guess it? For deferring. Yeah, Outlook maybe, but Outlook I don't think it's very syncable. It's not very user-friendly.
Calendar?
Google Calendar. Now, just these two softwares alone are so powerful that all the stress-reducing medicines in the pharmaceutical industry could have a huge loss. I'm deadly serious, because you just push all your life onto these two things.
Which is the second one you said?
Google Calendar.
Google Calendar. And I'm shocked many people are not using it. It's syncable, so even if you lose your mobile, you still got your stuff there. Plus, it makes life very easy. What do I do? I have to do this. Okay, so I do this on Tuesday, 11 a.m. I'm going to start on this particular topic, and I'm going to work for 1 hour. That's it. It's out of your mind. There's no other question that's going to pop up about this task in your head. And if you just think of some things and you don't have time to make it specific, you just put it in Evernote. That's it. I just had this thought. I got a new seminar idea. Okay, right now I'm driving. Stop the car. Put in Evernote. Start driving again. That's it.